Matthew 26 to 35. So the Lord's Supper is instituted, and today we were actually having communion too. So Jesus took bread and wine, and he wanted us to remember him when we do communion. Pretty much when we and then he said that the bread represents his body. This is a metaphor. This is my body. That doesn't mean it transfigure into his body or anything like that. It's just that elsewhere in the Bible, it actually said, do this in remembrance of me. So when we do it, we remember Jesus, and we remember his body was broken for us. We remember that his blood was poured out for us. We're not really eating his body or drinking his blood or anything like that. Some religion or some religion actually teaches that, and I think that is way wrong. We know in English what a metaphor is, and so when we say something is something, it's not like it is that. It is like that. It's a metaphor. So then but then he did say that this it's a covenant, and in today's verse in church, I don't remember where it's from, but it talks about this being a new covenant that he is instituting. And then so when I heard that, or when I read that, and then I thought about how the first covenant, the old covenant, I vaguely remember it was instituted with a representative of the people, which is Moses. And so, but in the ceremony, I remember a pastor saying how about it's a ceremony where God passes through it. So it's like representative that if anyone breaks the oath, then they will die. But Moses didn't have to pass through it. So it's like God bearing all the burden on himself of the covenant. And so I remember it vaguely. I couldn't find it, but I should search it up. But that is yeah, so when I heard about it, it was very interesting to me. And this one, Jesus is sealing this covenant with his blood. So the first one was with God's I guess law, authority, and now Jesus. So then after that, they went to so I don't think Judas was in here, because I remember after other gospel kind of chronologize it a little bit better, where after Judas dipped his hand, then Jesus told him go and do what you must do, and then he left. And so I think the Lord's Supper was not in this, but I'm not sure. So after they sang a hymn, they went to the Mount of Olives, and then Jesus told them that this now is the time that this verse will be fulfilled. And then Peter said that even if they all fall away, he would never fall away. But then Jesus told him what would happen, because Jesus knows the future, or knows everything that is happening. And then he said even if he has to die with Jesus, he will not deny you. And all the disciples said the same thing. But of course we know what happened, that when actually faced with the reality, they did not keep their faith. They were scared. They were hiding in the upper room after Jesus was crucified. They didn't know what was right and wrong. They don't know if the person that they've been following was a liar all this time, was a criminal now, and how that will affect their life, that they left everything for this person, and they've been living a delusion. So I think all those thoughts must have went through their head. At this time, they are convinced that Jesus is God, because or the Son of God, because of the miracles and of the power. But when Jesus become a meek person, well, not become, but when Jesus refuses to argue for his rights, he refuses to stand up to the Roman governor, people are turning against him. People were calling him a blasphemer. All of those, I think reality hit, and they at that time doesn't know what they believe or anymore. And I think that's part of the reason why they were afraid and hiding, because if they know what is true, they would stand up for it. And they did show that in the after Jesus resurrected and proved himself to them, and they died martyr death, some of them. And so we know that their faith, that after Jesus' resurrection, that's when they truly, truly know who he is. Before, even though they participated in the miracles, they did it themselves. That did not convince them to stand on Jesus' side. It was after the resurrection that they can die for Jesus.